Silence after the beat. The missing rhythm. Night fell on Sprunki Studio. Usually, music, lights, and dancing reigned here, but this evening was different. Oren hadn't shown up for 3 days. He wouldn't just disappear like that, Simon muttered, looking at the empty room where Oren's familiar beat always played. Gray stood in the corner, thoughtfully snapping his fingers, as if trying to remember a forgotten sound. I feel something. Wrong. His tracks end at the mirrored stage, he said, pointing to the old closed-off area that everyone had forgotten about after one unsuccessful experiment. Pinky approached, trembling. There's a strange energy there. It's as if the music has died forever. When they opened the stage doors, a chill hit their faces. The sound disappeared completely. No echo, no rustle, only silence ringing in their ears. Blackie was standing on the stage. He didn't move or speak. He just stared at them. His eyes were 2 gaping holes. His mouth slowly opened, but instead of a scream, a muffled sound of bit deformation, distorted to the point of horror, escaped from it. He took the beat, Gray whispered. He's the one who took Oren. Black took a step forward. The room began to vibrate. The walls stretched, and the floor turned into an inky mass. The Sprunks began to hear music backwards, as if someone were playing their past songs in slow motion and distorted form. Can you hear that? It's our tracks, whispered Pinky, covering her ears. But Simon wasn't afraid. He stepped toward Black. Give it back. Give back the beat. You lost your harmony, Black boomed. Oren paid first. Now, you are all silence. A scream came from behind. It was Jevin, who appeared holding a cassette tape. I found an old recording. It's the last thing he played before he disappeared. He inserted the cassette into the player. At that moment, the room exploded with light. Oren's voice broke through the horror, piercing the veil of darkness. Don't believe him. He's not one of us. He's from Horror Loop. Black roared. He began to melt, dissolving into the reverse melody, which grew louder and louder. The scene disappeared, and with it, the horror. In the morning, everything returned to normal. But Oren was gone. In his place was only an old, distorted figure in the form of a sprunka that had never been there before. She sat in the corner, silently moving her lips, repeating the same phrase over and over. The loop has begun. Again. Some sprunka return. Others become silence. From Pinky's perspective, they think it's over, that we've won. But I can hear the music. Music that no one else can hear but me. Every night I wake up to a strange melody. It starts with silence. Then a whistle appears. A screech. And a beat. Oren's beat. Only different. Distorted. As if it's singing from inside the cassette. I went to the stage, the one that was closed after Black appeared. No one dares to go there anymore, but I have to. He's there, I'm sure of it. I can feel him. The stage is dead, but there's a hatch under the floor. I found it by accident. I caught it with my fingernail, and it rang. Climbing down, I found myself in a room that no one had built. It was full of wires and screens. On one screen was a video. Oren, in a loop, playing a beat, his eyes empty, his movements repeating, like a gif, over and over again. Pinky. I turned around. The voice came from the speaker, trembling, broken. Can you hear? Me? Oren? I rushed to the screen, but the image cracked. Shadows crawled out from behind the monitor, and I understood. This wasn't a horror loop, it's an archive. Recordings of failed mixes. Everyone who didn't make it into the final composition. Everyone who was forgotten. They're alive. They're stuck between sounds. They're waiting. For music. You can free us, Pinky. You're the voice. You're the vocals. Only you can re-record us. I picked up the microphone, covered in dust and cracks. One chance, one song. No rhythm, no effects. Just my voice. I started singing. Slowly, clearly. Remembering every note that Oren and I had created. Until the shadows around us froze. Until the screen began to melt. Until Oren's beat sounded. Real. He stepped out of the screen. Real. Tired. Alive. We hugged. He was trembling. I thought no one would hear me. I always hear you, silly, I whispered. But when we came out, Black was waiting for us on stage, and he was smiling. Bravo. The final take was a success, Pinky. But you didn't understand something. He snapped his fingers, and everything froze. Oren disappeared. The stage turned to ash. You did what I couldn't. You activated the replay. Now, I'm not Black. I'm the author. The screen turned on, and on it, us, all the sprites. We are characters in a game, and this game repeats itself over and over again, like a worn-out cassette tape. Do you want to leave? Then sing the last song. But be careful. It will rewrite reality. Pinky stood up. She picked up the microphone. She looked back at her friends, Simon, Gray, Jevin, even that strange glitch from the bonus scene. And she began to sing. I sang. The words came on their own. They weren't mine. They wrote themselves. The music sounded as if the voices of those who had already disappeared were coming from inside me. Oren, Dorp, Garnold, even Simon. But when I looked at them, they were gone. Their silhouettes stood on the stage, but their faces were empty, shaded in like a bad sketch. Their eyes were black spots. Their mouths were thin cracks. They didn't move. They just stared, and Black stood at the director's console and smiled. You did everything right. I wanted to stop, but my voice wouldn't obey me. It continued, singing, crying, screaming, tearing my throat apart and dispelling reality. The track was finished. Silence. 1 second of absolute, blind silence. And then, cassette overwritten, welcome to version 000. I opened my eyes. Everything became flat. The colors disappeared. Only the outlines remained. The music stopped playing. All the characters froze. Each of them was now a shadow of their former selves, like a glitch left behind after a crash. Their faces were wiped away. Their voices were erased. And me. I was rewritten. I am not Pinky. I am just Vocal Jo 1. My name was deleted. My emotions were turned off. The microphone was glued to my hand. Forever. And at the top of the screen, instead of Sprunki, it now says, Black box mode activated. No one will leave. Playback. Infinity. Do you think you can close this window and forget? You can't. You've already pressed play. And now, in the depths of silence, someone is listening to you. Soon the shadows will come for your voice, because the music needs new vocals, and you. You've just become part of the next composition. Cassette recorded. If you want to save yourself, you'll have to come up with your own rhythm. But make no mistake, because in the silence, Black is still listening. In a black and white, endless hall, shadows move in circles. Pinky sits on a broken speaker. She no longer sings. Now she listens. Vocal Lyro 1, waiting for new data, says the screen above her. Loading next participant, beat Uro 3. A figure emerges from the ink smoke. It's Simon. No, what's left of Simon. His movements are mechanical, his eyes dead, but something inside is beyond control. He doesn't sing, he doesn't remain silent. He knocks, with his fingers, with his feet, with a sound from within, like a beat that regenerates itself. Black notices. Yeah, bad file. We'll delete you. He reaches for the console, but suddenly, a glitch, a pulse, a click, a knock, knock. Knock, knock. Emergency rhythm detected. Beat Auro 3, unknown resistance process, cannot be removed. Simon stands up straight. Pinky, can you hear me? She raises her head. Her eyes are dull, but the beat enters her. The rhythm awakens her voice. Not a song, a memory. Say, Mon? She whispers. You're not a file. You're not Vocal 01. You're Pinky. And I am your rhythm. He approaches. With each step, the walls begin to crack. The monitor flickers. The shadows scream. Black screeches. No, you can't go back. The loop cannot be broken. Simon grabs Pinky's hand. Their touch triggers a rewind. Start. Raw. Rewrite mode. Rewrite not through fear, but through memory. Black lunges at them. He loses his form. His body turns into a stream of fragments of voices, noises, broken tracks. You are just fragments, without code, without a base. I am the foundation of the spunky world. Pinky looks him in the face. Now her voice is clear. Not vocals, but words. You are not God. You are a glitch, and we are the original. She sings. Simon taps. They create a clean recording, the first since the beginning of time. Black bursts like a cassette in an old player. Fragments of reality fall like ashes. When they open their eyes, the scene is colorful again. Not the same, new. The sound is not recorded. The notes are not yet arranged. Simon is standing nearby. Pinky is holding a microphone, but now it is clean. No seams, no vocal owl one label. An inscription slowly appears in the sky. Sprunki, free version. Autoplay is disabled. The choice is yours. But among the audience in the shadows of the hall, one figure has not disappeared. He has no name, no voice, but he has a remote control in his hand. And when Pinky prepares to sing, he records their next failure. The world is breaking apart. Everything around us is becoming flat. Musical layers are disappearing. They fall into space without a background. They walk on a platform of notes suspended in the air. Around them are fragments of distant sprites, uncreated sounds, sketches of characters that were never drawn. There are also vanished versions of themselves, variations of Pinky with other voices, Simon without a beat, Oren, who never returned. This isn't just a flaw, this is us. We were cloned over and over again to find the perfect sound, Pinky whispers, and we're the only ones who understood that. At the end of the path, they see a door. It is alive. It pulsates. Behind it is the real exit, but it is guarded by a creature that no one has named. He is taller than Black. He is not a character. He is the programmer. A face made of pixels, eyes like cursors, a voice like text on a screen. You are elements. You must not exist separately. Every vocal is a recording. Every beat is part of a cycle. You cannot leave. Pinky raises the microphone. Simon raises his hand. We are not a game. We are an echo. We know what you fear, emptiness, but we are ready to enter it. Because emptiness is freedom. They take a step. At that moment, everything collapses. The backgrounds disappear. The music breaks down. The world begins to fade away, bite by bite. Their bodies disintegrate into light. But they don't disappear. They fall out of the code. The screen goes blank. You sit in front of it. But now something is wrong. You think you hear a knock, light, rhythmic, somewhere behind the monitor, and a voice, quiet, familiar. If you're reading this, then we got out. And now you're the first to hear the free song. A message appears on your screen. Sprunki, XE has been completed. Restarting is not possible. The notes have been erased. The loop has been broken. But the echo lives on, inside you.